Pruning rhododendron. In this video, we'll talk about pruning rhododendrons. There are several rhododendron species. Most bloom in the spring and need to be pruned after flowering. Even those that bloom in the summer should be pruned immediately after flowering, not prior to flowering. In this training video, we will look at pruning techniques for one species, Catawbiense, but the principles apply to the others. Conceptually, these concepts will also apply to azaleas, which actually are true rhododendrons, and mountain laurel.
Many spring flowering plants, such as this rhododendron Catawbiense cultivar, need to be pruned shortly after they flower. This is a red form, and you'll notice some of these spent petals still hanging on the flower, on the plant itself. In order to prune the plant to make it more compact or bushy, we actually want to remove some of the material, such as the spent flowers, which produce seed heads that take a lot of energy from the plant that it could be using to grow new shoots. Notice this plant has several of those. In addition to removing those shoots, we may prune some of the existing new growth in half to make those new shoots produce more new shoots. So in order to do this, I'm going to use a pair of hand pruners, such as these Felco pruners, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to remove this cluster of seed pods from the spring's flowering. And then, in addition to that, I'm going to actually cut roughly half of these individual shoots, allowing them to produce 2 to 3 new shoots on each of those areas. So these are pretty soft, fairly soft wood. So here's another example of a cluster of seeds, and we're going to move that out and cut that one out. Just notice when I'm making this cut, this cut's made just above a node, so that the bud at that node will come out and produce a new branch. While making pruning cuts, sometimes I will find interesting things on the plant. In this case, I found a growth here, which is a growth indicating that there are aerified mites feeding in that leaf, and I'm just going to remove that. That particular mite is not really damaging, but it's kind of makes an ugly portion on the plant. Here's a few weeks after we pruned the rhododendron and how the new breaks came out, having several smaller terminals that will end up making the plant more compact and more shapely as far as that goes. And ultimately, these new breaks should all produce flower buds, meaning that we will end up having a lot more flowers than ordinarily we would.